City?
Yes.
It'd be hard.
So
We are going live.
I just wanted her to know my opinion right up front, whether it matters or not.
Live. We are ready.
Memorex.
We are ready?
Yes.
Okay. Because I could share another commentary, but I'll wait. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We want to welcome you to our November 24th, 2025 Commissioners Meeting. This morning, I will lead us in invocation and pledge. If you can rise in this room, please do so. Dear Lord, thank you for this Monday morning here prior to Thanksgiving. We want to acknowledge your goodness to us all, the many blessings that we have experienced this year. And we want to thank you for the good harvest that this part of the country experienced. And personally, being a farmer, I thank you for that. I want to thank you for giving all of us the opportunity to live here in the United States of America. Still one of the greatest places in the world to live. Be with us today as we take care of business this Monday morning for Bartholomew County and its residents. Thank you for the many, many blessings you give us that we are so undeserving of. In thy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So before I start, I will mention for 45 seconds, Saturday evening, I've never been to the Murat at Indianapolis. And my boys had bought me for my birthday tickets to see Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh.
And he was there. And I had a couple other people tell me that does a very clean show. And you would laugh. And that's just the way Jerry is. And he can talk for 10 minutes about the dumbest things. He talked about coffee. He talked about tea. He talked 10 minutes about AI. He talked about marriages, difference between men and women. And it was all very, classy but he's really got a way about him. And it was just really pleasant. So anyway, if you are a Seinfeld lover and ever had the opportunity to go see Jerry, it was a good show.
Tell you how old I am. In college, when I was at IU, he was just starting and he came and judged a comedy show in our dorm at Briscoe. They had a stand-up comedy open mic and he was the judge. He was just getting started.
A couple at church yesterday morning said they can remember seeing the very first episode of that show on TV. And the wife said, "That is terrible. It will never make it." And her husband conversely said, "That will be one big hit." And the rest is history.
Yeah.
So anyway. Okay, guys, let's plow into this. First item, approval of last week's minutes.
I will move to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Motion by Larry and a second to approve last week's minutes. All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. Next item is the approval of claims.
I'll move to approve claims.
Second.
Got a motion by Tony and a second to approve claims. Any questions about claims? All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried. There's several pages there, Larry. So take your time, make sure you get them all.
Is blue ink okay?
Yes,
It is okay.
I use blue ink all the time.
And the next item here then is the approval of payroll. I will make a motion to approve payroll.
Second.
I've got a motion by myself and a second to approve payroll. All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried. Under our weekly reports, our new permit report for last week showed another big week, 43 permits issued. Fees collected, $8,334. Estimated value of construction, $8,885,151. And that report is always available for public inspection up in code enforcement. Of note, St. Paul's Lutheran Church is doing a education center addition, 6.8 million. So there we go. Next item, our county highway report. We've got our engineer with us this morning, Danny Hollander. Good morning, Danny.
Good morning, Dan.
We're Danny.
The crew report for last week, we sidewinded shoulders on 200 North. We moved the salt to the new salt barn, from State Street.
Did you move all of it?
No, we didn't get it all done. We got a
Yeah,
good
good.
percentage of it.
Yeah, we had talked a little bit. I would have moved half of it and left half because we'll use it.
Yeah. We washed trucks, and got them all ready for winter, and then, we mowed in Sand Creek and Rock Creek Township, and then Milestone paved 750 East.
Is it all done? Is all the 2025 stuff done?
No,
No.
no, and they're gonna do a couple wedging spots for us this week, but their
Close to
plant's
sale.
closing.
Okay.
They're gonna haul some from Indy to finish up some of the stuff.
Danny, I got a phone call about 850 South. Are you gonna do any wedging? You replaced the culvert down there and they paved over, but it's pretty narrow there, and somebody called and was concerned. Sounds like you're familiar.
Yeah, it's as wide as the road. I don't know what, they wanted. I don't know
Okay.
what good it'd be to make it wider than the road, but,
Okay, I just wanted to make you
yeah,
aware.
we've looked at it and.
Okay. Okay.
You should have the annual, road report.
Yeah, we've got
That's-
several.
That's last year's, so I'll make sure you're aware of that. It's 24.
Okay. First of all, let's see, we've got actually the October 25 crew and financial reports here. I guess we could handle them all. And then we also have the 2024 annual road report.
Make a motion that we enter all those reports into the meeting minutes.
Second.
I've got a motion from Tony and a second to enter all those highway reports into the commissioner's minutes. All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carried. And I will just mention a couple highlights from that annual 2024 road report. 26 miles overlay, 50 miles of chip and seal, 53 miles of striping, 27 and almost a half miles of sidewinding, and total cost, including wedging and crack sealing, $3,431,295. So that's some of the highlight figures from 2024. And what, for 2025, we will have no chip and seal, will we?
Now we will have a chip seal.
Yep, yep. So we had a motion and a second and we approved that, didn't we? Okay. You got a couple driveway bonds you want to release?
Yeah, driveway bond 23B-007. It's on 400 West, near State Road 58.
Okay.
Is there another one?
Yeah, 24B-004. That's on 300 East near 600 South.
You're happy with what's happened there? I'll move to release those two driveway bonds.
Second. I got a motion from Larry and a second to release those two driveway bonds. All in favor of that motion? Signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried. Anything else, Danny?
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
The next item on the agenda, we have second reading this morning. Consideration of an ordinance, we're amending the official zoning map of Bartholomew County. I think it's up in German Township. And we have our planning director with us this morning, Jeff Bergman.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jeff.
I think we have
The,
Jeff Colvin representing the applicants on his way up here as well.
the floor is yours here.
Right, give you. Yeah, and I think we have the drainage engineer there as well.
All right, it's been a little while since we had the first reading, so I think I'll give us a brief recap for the commissioners, of course, and those in the audience. So we're talking about the property at the southwest corner generally of the intersection of Tannehill Road and US 31. Really the property behind that row of commercial businesses and homes that front on 31. And it totals around 32 acres. A small portion of it that does touch 31 is zoned currently multifamily residential. And the ask is to rezone that to regional commercial. And then the majority of the property is currently zoned agriculture. They ask it to zone a portion of it, 8.5 acres, to regional commercial. And then almost 23 acres to multifamily residential. I know you've seen a concept plan, and I know Jeff Colvin here distributed a new concept plan for the intended development of that property. This rezoning was forwarded to the commissioners with favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission, their recommendation included a number of commitments that are worth being aware of. First of all, that the development of the property includes some kind of pedestrian system, most likely sidewalks that connect residential components with the commercial components. There's a commitment for dedication of right-of-way along the property's frontage along Tannehill Road. There's a commitment for a buffer, which would include some distance and some landscaping for the benefit of the residential property owners along the east side of the property. And there's a commitment that lays out a number of road improvements that are to occur on the property or in association with the development. And those result from a traffic study that the applicants had completed. And those recommendations mirror the outcome of that traffic study. So I know our conversation at first reading was primarily around stormwater and drainage. I know that applicants have given that attention in the meantime. So I'll stop at that point, and see if you all have any questions for me or want some follow-up on that stormwater question. I know in addition to Jeff here has indicated the applicants are present as well as the project's engineer.
Okay. Tony, Larry?
If you remember, last time I had quite a few questions and concerns about it. We've had a couple of meetings since with our county hydrology person, Tom Finke, and we've met with Danny. And it appears that what the design has been sufficient to take care of most of our concerns, so long as it's installed properly. 6 inches can make a huge difference with an issue like this when it's so flat. So I think, after meeting with Danny and Tom and all of us together, I think it'll be an improvement if everything's done to grade properly. So Danny, do you have any comment around that?
I mean, I agree. I mean, it's the best they could do. I mean, that you can't add fall if there's no fall there, but they've done the best they can with what's available and it should help.
Yeah.
It'll drain, maybe.
Yeah,
How fast it'll drain.
I think the key thing with it is that intersection there at 650 North and kind of the little alleyway that goes back to those residents where we have a big culvert there. But they've made a design where that drains into the first holding pond, isn't that correct? So if that's done correctly at the right elevations, it should alleviate some of that pressure, or much of that pressure that we see there at 650. Right in that location. So I guess we just need to make sure it's done correct. Because again, 6 inches can ruin the whole project when it's that low.
I know it's not our job to finalize the plan and, but from the first time we've seen the plan to this time, it looks like you've tripled the detention area.
Right.
The water detention area. And put it in a couple different locations, which is great. Curious to know how many units that cost the project.
Quite a few. I think our total unit count now is 200. What? Do you remember?
But it went down like over 100.
We lost over 100 units.
Okay.
So it was pretty significant. This isn't the final design,
No, but it's-
we've got to go through all the, but this is approximate and we think we can get the system to work pretty well. And even taking water from the north, I think you guys have a drainage problem to the north of the road there. And passing that through our system, that will still work according to what we have laid out. And you're correct, the elevations from north to south is not that significant. It's a very flat site, which is a very large challenge for our engineer.
Well, and again, as we've studied it and looked through it, the water to an extent is trying to drain kind of where you're putting that road anyway.
Right,
If left alone, that's probably where Mother Nature would
right. I think so.
eventually, the water would run off and erode there, but I think it'll help. I really do. So how do we, so from here, it goes back to the plan or at a design phase where they approve final concepts? Doesn't the
So,
plan commission do that?
yeah, so the process from here, once the rezoning's finished, their next step will be to submit a subdivision preliminary plat. That will get reviewed by the plan commission, and that will include additional drainage design and drainage information. If that preliminary plat's approved by the plan commission, their next step would be to develop construction plans, detailed construction plans for the stormwater system, the new road, all the public improvements. Those would be staff level review, including planning department, Danny, primarily. And then, once those construction plans were complete and found to be in order, we and the applicants would be back here for approval of a subdivision improvement agreement, which would bind them to the construction of those
Okay.
improvements.
Carl, we don't, do you want to talk about the legal drain discussions that we've had? This is a good time to notify them because they'll be a partner in that, like it or not.
We, again, in our conversations with both our highway engineer, Danny, and our hydrologist, realized that really at the, southeast corner, kind of that retention pond, that bottom retention pond is a ditch.
That doesn't exist.
A semblance of a ditch, let's put it that way. We, when I say we, I think the commissioners are in agreement, and in talking with our surveyor, county surveyor, and our hydrologist, we are thinking that we are going to petition to make that a mutual drain.
Petition the drainage board.
We're gonna petition the drainage board. We have checked, we legally can do that. The commissioners can legally petition that. A private property owner could also petition. The drainage board itself cannot petition to create or make or improve a ditch. So, we think that if that improvement was made, that it could potentially reduce the size maybe of your retention ponds, which I would think would be a great thing. It might allow you to put back a little bit of that commercial or residential space that you've taken out. But it's just our hope that we can improve the drainage in that whole area up there. Development has occurred over the last 35 years, and it's kind of went from that desk to this desk to that desk. And everybody was aware that we had some drainage issues, but I kind of lived with them. And we think that this might be the opportunity to improve it. Because once this one's put in, and then say somebody purchases the property to the west of you, and that water, part of that water, I think, comes that way too, doesn't it, Larry?
Yes, it does.
It gets harder and harder to fix as time goes on. So, more to come on that.
So, and the reason we bring that up is as a property owner, when that happens, you will be notified. And ultimately, long-term, I think initially, we're probably gonna look at building the drain with some funds that we have access to. And then after that, there would at some point be a tax
Assessment.
assessed with the properties where each individual lot and development would pay into the drain to maintain that legal drain. But to Carl's point, it might create a situation where you can reduce the holding ponds a little bit. Possibly. I don't know how you go about making that decision or who makes that decision, but if the outflow is better, maybe we don't have to retain as much.
Right.
But we'll see. But just kind of letting you know, because hopefully when we do that, you won't be the cheerleader for the opposition to it, because it's really important. It's, we
They-
should
they
have
might-
done it 40 years ago.
They might need the dirt we're gonna move.
Yeah, well, no, right, they
Yes, we
might.
will.
Yeah. Do you need dirt?
Yes.
You guys do need dirt on site.
But anyway, that, and that's an item that may come up here in the next couple of weeks even, that we're going to, address. But today, we are here. And so Jeff, to do this properly, we gotta have a public hearing, right? It's an ordinance. So I will open the floor and the Zoom. Anybody want to speak for or against this rezoning for this, said area? Yeah, Philip?
Yes, Carl, one question, I know perhaps this is not the forum for that, but as I recall, the last time we were here and this area was talked about, you spoke about coming from the state fair and seeing all the water in that ditch and mentioned, that is a state highway. Is any involvement with this as far as removing that silt that you spoke of at that time?
We feel like that, it's pretty hard to negotiate with the state of Indiana. The only entity that's worse, speaking from a drainage board perspective, is a railroad. The railroads in this country have carte blanche, so to speak. They help to develop and open our country, and
I remember, Carl.
they have a lot of power.
Early in my tenure, a railroad guy sat right at that table and told us that, and he kind of cleared his throat and tried to politely say, our railroad was there long before your county road was there.
So to address that, Phil, we feel like that if any entity in the county has some pull or push with the state, the drainage board has a little more authority than most people think.
And Tony has called President Trump's office and he's gonna come negotiate with
Still
the
on hold.
state for us.
So we do feel like, yes, the highway ditch along US 31 may need some attention. And
But our plan sort of doesn't depend on that.
But it sure works a lot
It would
better.
help.
It would help.
We'll need some cooperation with the state.
How far did we figure the water has to go to
About a
get?
mile.
and a half.
Mile and a half?
Down to 500.
And there is a tiny bit of fall south of this project. Very little.
Very little.
Yeah.
It is interesting, actually, driving up to see Jerry Seinfeld Saturday night, driving up that road. It is amazing that you're right. That intersection of 650 is a low spot. And I can feel it and could see it in the car that when you leave that light and head toward the interstate, it is slightly uphill. So, the water to the north or to the south of the interstate, between there and 650, it wants to go south. So I appreciate your comment, Philip. Any other comments for or against? I am closing the public hearing. Commissioners, your wishes.
Having considered the drainage issue, which was really the only stumbling block on the whole thing, you guys have done a lot to mitigate the water. The developers to the north are doing a lot to mitigate their water, so very little of it comes your direction. And then if we're able to get this done, I think it can really solve a very long developing problem. With that in mind, after second reading, I would move that we approve the ordinance amending the official zoning map of Bartholomew County for this project.
Jeff, when it gets to that next planning stage, a small mistake can really create a big problem on this. You wouldn't want me laying that pipe or shooting the elevations for it. So keep that in mind when it's approved at the next level. Cause 3-4 inches can make a huge difference there. I'll second Tony's motion.
I have a motion from Tony and a second to grant and approve this rezoning ordinance here on second reading for the said property here in the description. It's up in German Township. All in favor of that motion, signify by saying aye. Those opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you very much.
And I will say,
Thank you.
I've had a couple conversations over time with the Narsinganis and Tony Narsingani, who many may remember, worked at Dalton and Payne years and years and years ago. And then it was Tony's, what was it called? Tony's, the clothing store in the mall, Tony.
Your clothing store, what was it called?
Tony's Apparel.
Tony's Apparel, right. I used to tell people I owned it, but that's a different story. And so,
One
we-
Tony to another
Yeah,
Tony.
right, right. But we talked about how this is really kind of the front door to Bartholomew County for a lot of people. And it needs to be a really nice facility, a nice project. And he agreed. And did you say you did one in Carmel?
Yeah,
What was it?
what is it?
Carmel project.
You did a project in Carmel?
Project in Carmel? No.
No. Okay. Oh, okay. But you did another project like this somewhere or something like that. Anyway, we all talked about how important it is to have a nice, beautiful facility and project coming into Bartholomew County, and you guys agreed. So we look forward to it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff,
Thank you very much.
and thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Have a good Thanksgiving.
yeah,
Thank you.
all of you, please.
Think I'm up again. I'm gonna stay right here.
Oh, that's right. Our next item, we have a joint resolution pertaining to the Division of Zoning and Subdivision Control Ordinance permit fees and division of the building and code enforcement permit fees between Bartholomew County and the city of Columbus. You want to expound on that
I
any
can.
at all, please?
I can, I'd be glad to. Thank you. So essentially, currently, we're running almost two separate programs in terms of fee collection at the planning department. So for city cases, folks have the option of paying by check, cash, or credit card. The vast majority of them are paying by credit card. That's all processed through the city's finance department. On our county side, the only options are cash or check, which get sort of held at the planning department and then brought over to the auditor's office regularly. We've had a lot of requests from our county applicants to also be able to pay by credit card. So with the institution of a new sort of overall permitting system in the planning department, it is our intent, and we've had conversations, I know, with the auditor's office and with the city's finance department to allow credit card payments for everybody. Those payments would be sorted by which jurisdiction the project's in, and then the city's finance department would regularly, I believe quarterly is what we've talked about, send the appropriate payment over to the county. So we think it's a more efficient system. We're able to add that credit card payment, which a lot of folks are asking for. And rather than us carry over a bag with cash and checks in it every week or every other week, the city will just send a check over to the county for the amount that's for those county projects. So this agreement really allows that quarterly distribution of those fees that the city's collecting for county applications and then sending that over.
And you've already worked all this out with the auditor's office.
I believe that's the case.
So it's basically a housekeeping issue here in this resolution. This is resolution number 2025-07. And everybody is happy and on board?
Yes, I believe this was specifically a request from the city's finance department so that they could present it to the State Board of Accounts to justify how we're handling those.
The State Board of
monies.
Accounts is the one asking for this agreement.
Okay.
No, not really.
No?
I mean, it's gonna be cleaner.
Yeah.
It's actually gonna be less work on my office.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
think,
I think it should save everybody some time. through the
yeah.
process.
And it's better, I mean, it's better service for the people.
Yeah, right. I'd make a motion
Yeah.
that we approve this joint resolution pertaining the Division of Zoning and Subdivision Control Ordinance permit fees.
Before I second that, I have a question.
Hmm?
You said something just a moment ago that the fees collected, the city keeps the city project fees, the county gets the
That's correct.
county fees. Okay, I'm just trying to wrap my head around that. I wasn't here when the big split was made back in the, I think, maybe the seventies or even maybe in the eighties, but so currently in code enforcement, so the vast majority of the planning fees are of city projects.
They are.
The county's portion is probably a very small percentage.
20% or less.
Code
I'd say.
enforcement is kind of the same issue.
Mhm.
Many of the fees, but the code enforcement fees, are they split 50-50? Does anyone know?
They are.
They are split 50-50. Okay. Okay, then that helps me in my head. That seems fair to me
Mhm.
because in the code enforcement, county government pays for all of the work. Yet we give half of the proceeds to the city. In the planning department, there's not nearly as many fees collected as code enforcement.
That's correct.
So the city keeps all of the city fees, the county gets a smaller portion for the county. Okay, I'm good with that. Do you guys understand kind of what and that split was determined, I don't know when, but
Yep.
it was in, maybe even before the seventies.
Yeah. Before my time too, certainly. Larry.
Yes,
Yes,
and,
that's the way it's been ever since.
We don't want to revisit that now, do we?
No, not today. I just
No,
wanted to bring it up,
no.
just for future reference. I mean, you guys, the city funds most of the expenses for the planning department. All those individuals are city employees, and the county funds all of the code enforcement. And 85% of the work that's done up there is on city projects. So anyway, I think it's a good split. I think it's good. I'll second Tony's motion.
Before I call for a vote, I see Brad over there listening and the wheels turning. Any questions, Brad?
Get to hear it all again tomorrow during Board of Works.
Oh, okay. Okay. Motion made by Tony, seconded to approve this joint resolution. All in favor of that motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Motion carried.
Thank you all very much. Thank you for your help, Pia. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you,
Sorry to
Jeff.
bring that up.
Yep, that's all
Bog
right.
it down, but at some point we forget why we do things the way we do them.
That's very true.
So,
Good to remind
Yeah.
everybody.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you, Jeff. Our next item on our agreement, we have an agreement here with Universal Valuation Incorporated, and it does our appraisal services for our real estate, our buildings. And there are actually two figures here in this agreement. One for $595 that considers 10 of our structures. Mainly, I think it's just to make sure that those 10 structures are all still standing and need to be insured. And then we have a renewal site inspection of the Bartholomew County Jail that is due this year. And that fee is $1,625. We have worked with this firm for many years that do these appraisal services. So I'd make a motion, we go ahead, enter into these agreements with Universal Valuation.
I'll second.
Motion by myself and seconded to enter into this with Universal Valuation. All in favor of that motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed.
Carl, about 10 years ago, we hadn't updated our building valuations in many years. And then for some reason, we had to do it. And the cost to get out there and get that done was painful. I don't remember what it was, but it would be doubled if it was today. So since then, we've chosen to pay $1,500 a year or $2,000 a year and keep it updated every year. So we don't have to do that.
Yeah.
And we're more current in the event that we had a disaster.
Next item, got some monthly reports. Tony is holding the monthly report, the animal control for October. Go ahead, Tony.
It was the month of cats. We had 34 cats picked up, 17 dogs. The dog number is pretty average, but the cat number is pretty high. Only three of the animals were reclaimed in October. Interesting story, one cat on October 22nd or 21st escaped from an Alabama family's vehicle at the southbound rest stop. AC was notified Tuesday night. Wednesday morning, AC
Was that
said
the
the trip.
vicious cat?
No, I
That
don't
was
think
the
it was
one that
very
was
vicious.
vicious?
The cat was caught and the owners were contacted, but the cat had to be taken to the Humane Society and travel arrangements can be made. The cat was originally adopted in Poland and had an international chip installed. It sounds like a spy to me, but I'd like to make a motion that we enter the October 2025 animal control report into our minutes.
Second.
Motion by Tony and second to approve that October animal control report. Sometimes you can't make that stuff up, can
If we start having a bunch of Polish cats, I'm moving.
you? All in favor of that motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion carried. I hold the clerk's monthly report for September and October from our clerk Sherry Lance over to courthouse. Some pretty big figures, but everything looks in order. And I'd make a motion, we approve her reports. Motion by myself and seconded to approve the clerk's reports for September and October. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carried. Larry, you have the veterans
I have the
report.
veterans report. Everything looks very consistent. Had 15 trips to the VA hospital for the month of October. I'll move that we accept that report into our minutes.
Second.
Motion by Larry and a second to approve that October veterans report. All in favor of that motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carried. The next item, it was actually under miscellaneous, but I'm gonna move it up. We have an agreement here to consider for the assessors department. And we have our assessor with us, Jenny Whipple. Good morning, Jenny.
Morning.
You want to briefly tell the audience what this is?
This agreement is for our 6-year aerial flight agreement. We have increased it to every other year instead of every 3rd year. Mainly because that will benefit my office and the work we do. It's for both the aerials that you see on Beacon and the ortho aerials that we use in our office.
This is called pictometry.
Pictometry.
And this was on our agenda last week, but some questions arose because even though this is all being paid out of the assessor's fund, almost every department uses it because it's on our it's posted on our GIS. So we had some questions about, should different departments be sharing the expense on this? And the answer to that is probably yes.
I'd be happy to share the cost.
I know you would, but it has fallen on the assessor's office to do this. And we looked at the contract from 6 years ago and it was in fact the assessors. So it's fine to go ahead and do this, but I think we need to probably look at how all the departments use GIS and make a more fair share going forward.
I'm not sure why 12 years ago my predecessor agreed to pay for it all. Maybe they didn't quite know the extent it would be used at that point, although I can't imagine they wouldn't, but that was the way it was set up and it's just continued that way through, this is the 3rd update really.
So this is a 6-year agreement, but it's $420,000, but it's $70,000 a year.
Yes,
And you have it in your budget currently in your
Yes.
reassessment fund to pay for year one, $70,000.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
I would make a motion that we approve this agreement between Pictometry International Corp., DBA Eagle View, and Bartholomew County, Indiana's Assessor's Office.
I'll second. Jenny, where is Eagle View?
Where are they?
Where they at? Where they
All
at?
over the United States. I think they're out of, out east somewhere.
Yeah, I thought it was Midwest, like further east.
They have different divisions all
Okay,
over.
I'm
They
sure
fly
they
the
do. I'm
entire
sure they do.
United States
All
and
right.
Canada.
Good, thank you.
Okay, I got a motion from Tony and
Second.
a second from Larry to enter into this agreement for services for the assessor's office. All in favor of that motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried.
I would
do.
recommend that going forward, that we look at this as part of our overall GIS project, and take a look at how that could be potentially shared with the other entities that use it.
I have a intermutual agreement with the city, with Beacon, which is actually the hosting
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
program.
mm-hmm.
So this could be handled the same way. Just
Okay,
different
good.
departments.
Good, okay.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Jenny.
Jenny.
And this gets you in line, right?
It does.
It
gets me
gets you in line.
It gets me in line. We will get our aerials probably April instead of November.
Yeah, that was the push. Jenny wanted pictures taken before everything got leafed out, right?
Right. The trees really, really hurt. I mean, they really do affect how well you can see information.
Yeah, yeah. We have one announcement, of course, that we will be closed. The county offices will be closed this Thursday and Friday in observance of Thanksgiving. We've got one other item to consider and,
Carl, I have a
you are
family
gonna-
member that's involved in that business and I will recuse myself if that's okay.
that'll be fine.
Thank you.
The last item on our agenda, we have consideration of a change order, number one, for the Bartholomew County Salt Sand Storage Barn. And again, that contractor was Premium Concrete Walls, of which Commissioner Kleinatz does have a son involved in that particular business. And so that is why he recused himself from this discussion. And there are two items that we have discussed with, well, do we want to bring Charlie up or
I don't know if Charlie was
you
even
want me
involved in
just
any of
to
this.
discuss it, Charlie?
It's
Yeah,
with
I-
DLZ.
Yeah, I was not directly involved. I know of the change orders. I was not directly involved. Our project manager, Henry Stellema, the architect, was involved in, I think, writing a letter to you as our response to the change order, right?
So I think the short of it is, and I want the public to know that Larry was not involved and not present in these discussions, that between me and Tony and our attorney and in conversation with DLZ's rep,
Architect, yeah.
we have agreed that we feel like we need to accept the cost of these two items. So 1A was the cost of a geotechnical report, and that report was for $5,900. And the specs called for the owner and the contractor to obtain a geotechnical report. And Premium Concrete Walls obtained and paid for the report in full to move things along. That being said, this report really needed to be obtained before the building project could commence.
It was, both of these issues, both
Yeah,
of these
both of them.
items were necessary.
The second one is 2A, And it was, for material to, they essentially called it a concrete mud slab that was poured below the footers. And, poured, August 4th and 5th due to an unusually wet July and due to the geotechnical report. And in defense, back to the point of what, 5, 6 years ago when we built our new highway garage, we were made aware during that construction that this particular site, for lack of better terms, had junky soil. Right, Danny? And our site prep contractor for that project was Milestone. And had to work with junky soils to get it ready for our new building. So that figure is $10,104.50. So
It's like concrete slurry that they mix into the soil to harden the soil to hold the footers.
yeah,
Gives them a good working,
Yeah.
platform to set their steel on and then pour the
Right.
actual footer.
And the salt barn is finished. The salt barn is now currently has salt in it.
yeah,
And it's wonderfully built. And can I just say these, you know, we build a lot of things. And we typically have a lot of change orders during their building time. We had several at the courthouse. You don't know what you're getting into until you start digging. And we had multiple change orders there. We had multiple change orders at the pickleball court. We had multiple change orders everywhere. But this is the only change order I think we've had in this whole project.
for this project, yeah.
And if everybody can remember the bid, his bid was almost $500,000 cheaper than the next bid. And we have a beautiful, as beautiful as Salt Barn's good. I looked at it just this week. It looks great. It's impressive. And it came in at price. And the only change order are two things that should have been in the original bid package. Or should have been in the original request. And so I have no problems with these two things.
So that's what we're here today. The original contract price for that barn was $848,700. These two, this change order amounts to $16,004.50. And so that will make the total for this salt barn $864,704.50.
I'd make a motion that we approve this change order number 1 for the Bartholomew County Salt Storage Building.
And I will second that motion. Motion's made by Tony and seconded to consider this change order for the salt sand storage barn. All in favor of that motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed. Motion carried. Note that that was 2-0 with Larry not participating. Thank you, Charlie. Any other items for this body today?
Brad, are you writing every single story at the Republic now?
It feels like that, but no, there are others. You just see me in the flesh more than.
Oh, okay.
We want to wish everyone here a nice and happy Thanksgiving weekend and holiday here on Thursday. And I think the most of us all have a lot to be thankful for. And if you're going through trials and tribulations, I hope that they do get better. And so with that being said, we will be back here next Monday morning at 10 a.m.